You know, politics gets in the way a lot, sometimes even in the way of dying kids. I wanted to start tonight with all the enthusiasm of the first show the new year deserves. But when I found out the Eric Trump Children's Foundation was being forced to suspend operations, I was furious. It happened on Christmas Eve. That night when most children dream about what Santa has in store for them in that bag chock full of goodies. While those children were nestled all snug in their beds, there were other children in different kinds of beds, not dreaming of sugar plum fairies. Those children, the unluckiest of them all. Because someone was a crook, those children lost. Because someone lined their own pockets from their so-called charity, laundering money from foreign governments and oligarchs under the guise of starting a presidential library, but actually seeking to pay lawyers in sexual harassment judgments, those children lost. Because a self-admitted dead broke, penniless couple parlayed their charity into a pay-for-play and $250 million for themselves. These children lost. And of course comes the New York Times in their perennial state of moral inequivalency, echoing claims of influence peddling from the shady Clinton Foundation, where authorities refuse to even lift the veil of corruption, opining that surely Eric Trump's Children's Foundation will influence peddle, albeit not admitting that the Clintons did. But to be fair, Eric Trump must close his Children's Foundation. Permit a few differences. Eric Trump was not penniless or in debt when he started the Eric Trump Foundation. He did not start that foundation to make money, and he certainly did not become rich because of it. Here's what his own wife told me in Florida.
He started the Eric Trump Foundation to help kids with cancer. And in fact, he's such a humble guy that when I first met him, I didn't even know about it. He started it the year before we met, and it was almost like he didn't want to toot his own horn to say, look what I did.
You know, on the show, I remember his saying that 100% of the proceeds go to the kids.
It's very important to Eric. The low expense ratio of the Eric Trump Foundation is something he's always worked so hard for. I mean, he works his hardest at the Eric Trump Foundation, and I've seen him negotiate for cents off of a price, pennies off of a price, just because he knows that that's a penny more that could go to the kids of St. Jude. And it's really disappointing to see how other charities out there are run. And I use charities very loosely because we see the Clinton Foundation, and it's disgraceful, quite frankly, that they could be categorized in the same space as the Eric Trump Foundation.
Eric was 21 years old when he followed through on his dream to create a children's foundation. Most, if not all, of the money goes directly to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Tennessee. There's no money from foreign governments or foreign oligarchs, and certainly no business deals or sale of American assets accompany contributions. In fact, Eric Trump was not in the government, nor will he be. No charity money was ever used to fly around in private jets or to live a life to which he was unaccustomed. Eric can actually trumpet concrete accomplishments like the intensive care unit at St. Jude's opened on February 2015 before his dad was ever a candidate for anything. All the money's raised, almost 100%, given to the charity for the foundation, millions, almost 20 million, operated with one employee, Eric shouldering operating costs himself. And so this past Christmas Eve, those children not dreaming of toys or sugar plum fairies, but the ones praying their next chemo or blood transfusion wouldn't hurt so much. Some even praying that death wouldn't visit their rooms that night, hoping maybe, just maybe, an angel would come with a gift. Not a gift of toys, but a gift of life. All because a young man named Eric. They lost that night. Yes, it was the unluckiest of them all who suffered that night, because a young man who did nothing but good for all the right reasons could not continue to do good, because evil was assumed to be the norm, as Scrooge and the ghosts of the Clintons past visited the Eric Trump Foundation and the children who benefited.